The moment you speak too soon, you lose something you will never get back, and you don't even feel it leave. From the first second you open your mouth, someone else begins deciding where you stand, how dangerous you are, how much you need approval, how easy you are to move. This is not theory. This is happening every time you react, explain, justify, defend. Silence terrifies people because it removes the surface they rely on to feel superior. When you stay quiet, they cannot place you. When they cannot place you, they start projecting. They fill the gap with their own fears, their own assumptions, their own weakness. That is where power quietly changes hands. The world trains you to talk, to respond instantly, to clarify your intentions before anyone asks. That training was never for your benefit. It was designed to make you readable, predictable, manageable. Calm silence interrupts that system. It forces others to lean forward while you stay still. It forces them to reveal urgency while you reveal nothing. Watch how quickly people grow uncomfortable when you don't rush to fill the air. They begin to speak more than they planned. They begin to show their position without realizing it. Silence is not empty. It is pressure without movement. Calm is not softness. It is restraint backed by awareness. The most dangerous presence in any room is not the loudest voice, but the one that can absorb tension without releasing it. Those who speak first surrender leverage. Those who react emotionally expose structure. Those who remain composed let chaos work on their behalf. There is a reason calculated men throughout history were described as cold, distant, unreadable. They understood that power does not announce itself, it waits to be recognized. Calm control makes others second-guess themselves. Silence turns attention inward, and people hate being alone with their own thoughts. They will do almost anything to escape that discomfort, including revealing motives they intended to hide. Every unnecessary word you remove sharpens your position. Every calm pause shifts the balance. You don't need to dominate the room. You only need to let others destabilize themselves around you. Once you feel that shift, once you notice how people change when you give them nothing to grab onto, you understand why true control never explains itself, and why the quiet presence always decides the outcome long before anyone realizes the game has already moved beyond their reach. Chaos never arrives loudly at first. It slips in through urgency, through pressure to respond, through the demand that you pick a side before you've even seen the board. Calm is what exposes it. When everything around you accelerates, the person who does not move becomes the reference point. People mistake calm for indifference until they realize it bends the room around it. Panic multiplies when it meets resistance, and nothing resists chaos more effectively than controlled stillness. You can feel it when others rush to label you, provoke you, force a reaction, because noise needs feedback to survive. Calm starves it. The louder the environment becomes, the more your restraint feels like a threat. They cannot read you by your tone, cannot predict you by your pace, cannot corner you through emotion. That uncertainty unsettles them. Humans judge danger by visible signals, and when there are none, the imagination does the work for you. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. When they cannot see intention, they invent it, and they almost always invent something worse than reality. Calm control reframes the battlefield without announcing the shift. Others begin over-explaining, justifying, escalating, while you remain anchored. Their chaos becomes evidence against them. Calm does not mean passive, it means selective engagement, measured timing, and the discipline to let others expose themselves. The one who stays composed during disorder becomes the axis everything else spins around. Watch how quickly authority dissolves when it tries to shout over silence. Watch how instability reveals hierarchy. Chaos is loud because it is insecure. Calm is quiet because it already knows where it stands. This is why the most controlled individuals rarely need to assert dominance. Their presence does it for them. They don't interrupt, they don't rush, they don't compete for attention. They let others exhaust themselves. Calm absorbs pressure and returns nothing, and that imbalance breaks weaker minds. Once you understand this, you stop fearing disorder. You stop mistaking movement for power. You realize chaos is not an enemy to fight. It is a condition to outlast. And when everyone else is reacting, speaking, scrambling to regain control, the calm figure is already deciding who falls first and who never even sees it coming. Reaction is the tax the impulsive pay to anyone who knows how to provoke them. Control begins where reaction dies. The moment you answer immediately, you hand over the tempo, and tempo is authority. This is why pressure is always disguised as urgency. They want you fast, emotional, visible. They want your move before you've seen theirs. The disciplined mind understands that silence between stimulus and response is not hesitation, it is leverage. Every second you don't react, the other side leaks information. Tone shifts, posture changes, words pile up trying to force momentum. They reveal fear without realizing it. Control is invisible because it happens before action, not during it. The strongest position is not striking back, but choosing when something deserves to exist at all. Many mistakes are born from the illusion that ignoring is weakness. In reality, it is filtration. Not every provocation earns acknowledgement. Not every challenge is real. Those who react to everything are controlled by everything. Those who control their reactions decide what matters. There is a quiet authority in refusing to be pulled into someone else's emotional frame. It forces them to operate alone, exposed, impatient. Power shifts the moment you stop confirming their importance. This is where dominance becomes psychological, not physical. The controlled individual never rushes to correct misunderstandings or defend reputation. They understand that explanation lowers position. Let others assume, misinterpret, overreact. Control allows outcomes to form naturally, without fingerprints. This is how influence survives scrutiny. Those who shout their intent are easy to block. Those who move silently are impossible to predict. The absence of reaction unsettles people more than confrontation ever could. It removes their reference points. They don't know if they've won, lost, or been ignored. That uncertainty forces errors. Control is not about suppression, it's about authorship. You decide which moments become real and which fade unanswered. And once you realize that most battles are won by never stepping onto the field, you also realize something colder, that the person watching calmly from the outside is never as neutral as they appear. And by the time you feel the consequences, the choice was already made. Noise is not expression, it is leakage. Every unnecessary word carries information. Every outburst exposes timing. Every explanation reveals position. Those who rely on volume believe force is created by presence, but presence is cheapest when it is constant. The louder someone becomes, the more predictable they grow. Patterns form in their speech, in their reactions, in the moments they choose to speak. Noise announces need. It signals hunger for acknowledgement, fear of being overlooked, panic at the idea of being invisible. The quiet mind understands something most never notice, that attention is currency and silence controls supply. When you speak less, others speak more, and when they speak more, they show you where they are weak. Noise fills space because it cannot tolerate emptiness. Silence tolerates it, studies it, shapes it. This is why chaos loves sound. Confusion thrives when voices overlap, when explanations stack on top of excuses, when movement replaces direction. Calm does not compete with that. It waits, and waiting sharpens the contrast. The noisy reveal themselves as reactive, emotional, manageable. They confuse motion with progress, visibility with power. But power never needs to announce itself. It becomes felt only after the door has already closed. Those who fill every moment with words believe they are controlling the narrative. In truth, they are exhausting it. Every extra sentence narrows their options. Every clarification limits future deniability. Silence preserves ambiguity, and ambiguity is strategic depth. The quiet individual is difficult to frame because there is nothing to quote, nothing to replay, nothing to distort. This forces others to invent meaning, and invented meaning is unstable. They project their fears into the void you leave behind. This is how imbalance begins. Noise demands reaction. Silence removes it. Without reaction, pressure collapses inward. People start questioning themselves. They escalate volume, speed, intensity, hoping to provoke something solid. But nothing comes, and that absence becomes heavier than any response. What they don't realize is that the quiet is not empty. It is watching, measuring, choosing. And while noise burns energy trying to be seen, silence conserves it, storing momentum for a moment that will not be announced, not explained, not softened, only felt when it is already too late to adjust. Winning rarely announces itself. It arrives without sound, without witnesses, without celebration. By the time others realize what has happened, the outcome is already locked. This is what unsettles them most, not loss, but the realization that the decisive moment passed quietly, unnoticed, while they were distracted by noise. Loud people believe victory looks dramatic. They imagine confrontation, dominance, visible defeat. That fantasy keeps them busy. The real advantage moves underneath, where there is no applause and no resistance because no one sees it forming. Silence creates that blind spot. When you do not signal intent, no one knows what to defend. When you do not explain direction, no one knows where to block. This forces opponents to guard everything, and guarding everything drains them. Quiet strategy is efficient because it wastes nothing. It does not argue, it does not persuade, it does not prove. It simply advances while others are still reacting to echoes of their own voices. People assume silence means uncertainty, hesitation, lack of confidence. That assumption is the opening. They overextend, fill gaps, make premature moves to test you. Each move reveals priorities. Each test exposes timing. They believe they are pulling information out of you, but in reality, they are giving theirs away for free. Silence does not rush the end because it understands leverage grows with time. The longer you remain unreadable, the more unstable the environment becomes for those who need feedback to feel safe. Humans crave signals. Without them, they invent meaning, and invented meaning always favors the one who says nothing. This is where the gain is made. Not in confrontation, but in accumulation. Small advantages stack unnoticed when no one is watching closely enough. Access expands, influence shifts, options multiply. By the time action becomes visible, it looks sudden, even unfair, as if the result appeared out of nowhere. In truth, it was built quietly, piece by piece, while attention was elsewhere. This is why calm feels threatening to those who live by reaction. They sense that something is happening without their permission. They feel excluded from the process, and exclusion breeds fear. Fear pushes them to speak, to accuse, to demand clarity. But clarity serves the observer, not the architect. The one who stays silent keeps control of the frame, and control of the frame decides who wins before the game is ever acknowledged. Power does not close with a declaration, it withdraws. It leaves others staring at the space where certainty used to be. By now you should feel it, the quiet shift where attention turns inward and the world grows louder without you participating. This is the final separation. Those who need validation cannot follow past this point. They need response, confirmation, friction. You offer none. That absence changes the balance completely. When you stop performing, others are forced to confront their own noise. They begin to doubt their timing, their reads, their instincts. They wonder what they missed. They replay moments, searching for signals that were never given. This is not dominance through force. It is dominance through removal. You are no longer part of their feedback loop, and without feedback, control collapses. What they see is not what is happening. What they hear is not what matters. As one cold observation warns, men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. They will judge your stillness as emptiness because they cannot see the pressure building beneath it. Let them. Vision is their weakness. You move where eyes do not linger, where hands arrive too late. At this stage, explanation would be a mistake. Explanation gives shape to something that should remain formless. The moment you clarify, you reduce yourself to something manageable. Instead, you allow misunderstanding to spread. Confusion works for you now. It slows pursuit. It fractures coordination. It keeps attention pointed in the wrong direction. This is where the final advantage settles in. You are no longer reacting to the environment. The environment is reacting to the idea of you. That is real leverage, and leverage does not announce itself. It waits. If you feel the urge to speak, to reveal, to prove that you are in control, recognize it for what it is, a test. Passing it requires restraint. Failing it resets the game. The few who understand this never ask for permission to proceed. They simply stop explaining and let outcomes do the talking later. When this ends, it will not feel like an ending. It will feel like silence expanding. And if you stay with that silence instead of fleeing it, you will notice something unsettling. The world adjusting itself around you without being told.